D. Robinson, Braveheart Children in Need, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Braveheart Children in Need was inspired by my niece, who is a social worker. She was telling us the story of removing a young child, and the child was inconsolable. She had cried herself actually to sleep. And I asked her at that point, I said, "Didn't you have a bear that you could give this child for comfort?" And she said, "Well, no, Aunt Dee, we really don't. We don't have toys in the office." And I said at that point, "Well, you know what? I can buy a bear." And so we started out offering help to one social worker. And from that point, it was, "Hey, my office mate would like something. Can you put together a bag for them?" And so we did. And then it was the next person down the hall. And before we knew it, we realized that we needed help. There were so many children that needed this helping hand.
The most important objective of Braveheart is to give a little child something to hold and something to call its own at a time when the child has nothing else. A bear, a blanket, a coloring book with some colors to take your mind off the fact that you have to wait for 4 hours or 8 hours in an office not knowing where you're going to go. A foster home is still at the beginning very frightening to a child. And so I think that Braveheart gives that child a sense of dignity and a sense of someone out there in this world cares about you more than you might know at this moment. And here's a bear to tell you that. Social workers will come and just literally back up to the warehouse, pick up the bags, and take the bags immediately to their parish offices and distribute them as the children come in and need new homes, and have those times where they're in the Office of Community Services offices without a home, literally having lost whatever home they knew and not knowing when or where their next home will be.
There are children that are coming into this system that have never had anything. They're leaving an environment of emptiness, and they're coming into an environment with something. What inspires me is the courage of the children. If a little child can take something like a teddy bear and draw strength from that, then how much more so I as an adult, from all the knowledge that I have and all the things that I have in my life to draw strength from, I can do anything. I can move mountains when I look at this child, at what they're facing.
The rooms where the social workers bring the children to meet with their family, those rooms were so often just a stark white and hard, almost sort of a cell to meet in. And Braveheart saw that, and Braveheart is now helping to paint the visitation rooms, to put colorful couches and pillows and things in the visitation rooms a little bit more comforting.
We had been operating about 2 years, and it was kind of a low time for me personally. I thought, oh, there's so much to do, and there's so many children to reach, and I thought, well, when in doubt, go get your hair cut. So I went to the beauty shop. I was sitting there, and this lady came up to me, and she said, "Come on, you're next." And I said, "Okay." So I hopped up in her chair, and she starts working on my hair, and she said to me, "What kind of business do you do?" Well, I actually do have, quote, a real job, but Braveheart is the job of my heart. So I began to tell her what Braveheart does in reaching out to children. Within just a few minutes, this lady laid her scissors down and left the room in tears. So I sat there very quietly until she came back in, and she was struggling to get her composure. But she said to me, "I want to tell you something. When I was 5 years of age, I was removed from my home and placed in a foster home. But," she said, "I was very lucky because within a year, my mother came back and got me. But," she said, "within another year, I was removed again." And she said, from the age of 6 until I was an adult, at age 18, I lived in foster homes. And she said, one thing that I did, I would hide in my closet of my bedroom. They would call to me, and I wouldn't come out. I would hide in my closet. And she said to me, "Just think, if I would have had a bear, I could have taken my bear in my closet with me. Every day, I thank God for the blessing of having the opportunity to serve. Braveheart is a God-given responsibility for me. There is nothing that Braveheart does that is not God-oriented. It's our desire to give the children not only hope for the future, but a picture of love. And our Heavenly Father is pure love.